Happy New Year to all. So let's start the session, right? So last session we discussed about how do we use two-way data binding in Angular. And in the two-way data binding, so we discussed about how we can use ng model. So this is using MVC architecture. Using MVC architecture, we can access the details and handle the details. So this is, let's run this and see the example. Right. So in this, what we designed, I am showing once here. We just need ng model. So an ng model is available in ng Angular forms module. We have to import the forms module and handle it. So I hope everyone practiced this up to two-way binding, basically. Am I right? Done. Right. Okay, it's compiled successfully. Let's run this and see. So yeah, this is the design we created. So this is the design we created. In this design, so user can enter the details. So actually, whatever data is present in the controller, this data, controller means our TS file. Whatever data is present in the controller, we are binding it to the UI. We are binding it to the UI. So that means we are binding to the UI first, to text boxes by using ng model. What is the meaning of this square brace and parenthesis? Square brace is property binding and the parenthesis is event binding. So it will bring the value and binds to its value property. And if any change happened in the value, so on change, it will update, model will update the data into this name, into that name. So it gets the data from name and updates the data into that name. So that is generally how we can manage data binding. But here what happening here is whenever you make any change, it is updated here. That means every value you are changing, it is updating here. So it depends on your requirement, how you want to configure. For example, I want to keep a button here. I want to keep a button. And on button click, I want to update. On the button click, I want to update. That means I don't want to update every value immediately. After finally collecting all the details, I need to update that. Then simply what we can do is here we can add a new button here. So let's go to the design. In the design, so here after the stock, yeah, here I'm adding another div. So class as form group, and here I am adding a button. So and this button will have the class as btn and btn primary. So that is the button class, and I will just give as btn block also. Okay, and the button text I will give update. Button text as update details something, and you can see it will display that update details here. So whatever the details I am entering, I don't want to immediately update. I want them to update on this update button click, on that update button click. That means now we need a function for this update button click. So we need a function for update button click. So generally how we can configure, how we can define. So technically simple, the point is very simple here. So we need one product related details. So here you can see these are the details for the product, and I am adding some new product. I am adding new product. So or say new details. New details contains, so properties name, it is empty. Currently new details contains empty, and the new details contains price, so 0, and the shipped to also empty, and if it is string empty, right, in stock is false. So by default new details contains this. So on button click, so I want to update these new details. I want to update these new details. So that means we have to write a function method on update button click. This is our own function. This function should collect the data from this name, price, shipped to, in stock, and update here, update into new details. That means this dot new details is an object. Into the new details name should come from this dot name. This dot name is the text box, so we attached that to the text box. Similarly price will come from this dot price, and shipped to comes from this dot shipped to, and in stock comes from this dot in stock. Okay, that means whatever the details, so the new details are there, these new details will be updated from the text box. We collect them and we use them, and these new details we want to display. These new details we want to display. So we want to display those new details. So just beside it here we want to display the new details in this column. So here we are adding heading product details, and here I am adding just a heading, the heading as column, yeah, register product heading as register product. And that is the design actually, register product details. And the product details, I don't want directly the text box. I need to get it from new details dot name. I want to get from new details dot price and new details dot ship to, and new details dot in stock. I want to get from that new details. Observe here, design however you want, you can keep. Suppose I am arranging this data list with a class called row and a class, so call SM3. For data terms, I am using call SM3. Wherever term is there, I am using call SM3. Okay. And wherever definition is there, I'm using call SM9. These are all bootstrap, general bootstrap classes. We are using data definition, call SM9. Okay, data definition, call SM9. Okay. It is nothing but arranging the information side by side in this way. So the name, price, shipped to, everything is arranged in this. Side by side we are arranging. Now I am changing the value. You can see that value is not updated here. I am changing the price, that is not updated there. I am selecting city. I click update details. On update details, it will collect these details and it will store in this new object. That means values will come from the text boxes and it will store in this object. And it is updated here. And when I click on update details, those details need to be updated. We haven't written on click yet. That means you have a function which updates the details. This function should fire up when user clicks update button. So go to update button. So update button, here we have to write event, just like JavaScript, but here events are defined in a parenthesis. And what is the event? Click. That means when button click, so we have to call on update button click function. That's it. Later, I will show you some examples on different events also. So on update button click, this should happen. Okay, now I am adding the values, Samsung TV, defining the price and shipped to and in stock. I click on update details and those details will update here. Any change I am making into this, it is not immediately updated there. Now when I click update details, now it will update those details there. So until I click update details, it is not updated. That depends on your requirement, how you want to configure. So currently, only one simple point, how to collect the data, how we can bind the data to the UI. So for that, what we need to do. So here, lot of activities are to be managed. Lot of activities are to be managed in the controller. Controller is our TS file. We need lot of references. We need lot of manipulations of data in the controller. In MVC framework, controller plays the key role. So we can also use different approaches according to situation. We can also use in Angular, we can also use MVVM framework. That means Angular supports both MVC, MVVM. Both frameworks can be in one component also. It depends on situation, but we don't want like that. Certain components we use MVC, certain components MVVM, because MVVM is nothing but model, view, and view model. So view model. MVVM is model, view, view model. So same like MVC. So the advantage of view model is view model comprises of logic handled at UI. Logic handled at UI. That means all interactions are managed at view level. That means controller will not have lot of interactions. Everything is managed at the view level. It will not depend on controller. That means storing the value, collecting the value, displaying the value, entire data binding happens without a controller, without the use of a controller. So this is good when you are using inline documentation technique. When you are using inline documentation technique, only one file is present and everything you want to manage in the UI level, then it is good. So configurations and data are manipulated in the view only. Everything is managed in the view only. But some problems are there. So if configuration and manipulation, everything is managed in view. In view means UI, right? If it is managed in the view, then what is problem is, so it makes page very heavy. That means UI renders slow. Why? Because lot of interactions have to be handled in the UI only. So, and another problem is extensions. Regular extensions are difficult. Regular extensions are difficult. You cannot extend your UI regularly. If it is a controller class can be extended. Regular extensions are difficult. It is very difficult to extend your component regularly, and separation issues will come. And hard to test also, because everything is integrated into UI. But it is good for a component which doesn't require regular extensions, which doesn't have complex interactions, which requires only simple interactions, which doesn't require complex interactions, which requires simple interactions, which doesn't require regular extensions. In that case, this will help. So MVVM is configuring everything in the view level only. Now how it is managed? So here again, so we need NG model. NG model is a directive. It is a directive used for HTML element to make it dynamic. In the view level itself we use it. So every element requires a reference name, and we configure that reference name and we use that reference name. In the UI itself we will manage everything. UI itself, we manage everything. Let's see how we can configure. That means in the user interface, we can design everything. So configuring specifications, everything can be done in the UI only. This is good for inline contents. Let's see one example. That means how we can manage everything in the view level. That is MVVM framework. So without much interactions managed. That means, remember, TS file will be there because for every component TS file is required. So controller will be there, but controller will not be managing any interactions for us. Let's see how we can handle it. So let's create a new component. So I will open here, create a component. So I'm creating a component, ng generate component, and the components I'm giving as MVVM demo. Okay, and MVVM is good when you are using inline technique. So what I will do is I will remove inline template. So that means I will add inline template. Inline template is true. By default, it is true. I am adding inline style also true. And I will say skip test. So I will use skip test. And you know that this is going to add only the component TS file. That means we are generating a component where only one file will be there. That means no separate HTML file and no separate CSS file. So inline documentation, and hit enter, and that component is generated. Only TS file is generated. Okay. So, but that TS file you can see. So the TS file is generated. MVVM demo, only one file is present. And it is inline template. Inline template means automatically you can see the styles, and you can see the template is defined here. So additional anything I will remove here. Okay. And I am just having an empty controller. Okay. Controller will not have anything else here. It is having an empty controller. That means our intention is not to have anything inside this controller logic. Everything should be managed in the UI only, in the template itself. That means declaring values, collecting the values, displaying the values. There is no reference managed in the controller. So previously we have to declare the references, attach them to the UI, access the data and use them. Now it's not that. We need to handle every interaction for design the template. Now let's design the template. So that means here itself we will configure the template. Okay, let's create a div. So, and in this I'm defining, in this div I'm defining this div will have class container. Okay, and a container like some container fluid. So that is generally for Bootstrap. Already Bootstrap is globally there. And I will create a div, and here in the div, we will define some row. We are adding the rows here. There is nothing to explain MVVM architecture. So only model view model will be there. Understood? That's a simple thing. Already we discussed MVC. So the point is you have a model and you have a view and we have a view model and this data is in model and the logic for data is present inside the view model. That means this is present inside view only. This is present inside view only. And the presentation also happens in the view only. That means this entire thing is in this entire thing is in view only. This entire thing is in the view only. That means UI. That's it. You don't have a separate controller. All your logic will be in the view model only, nothing else. It's a very simple, straightforward point, right? So this important approach is the configuration of the data and the interaction with the data. Everything happens in the view. So here I'm defining the design. So let's create, so here a class row, and we are defining a div, and let's keep this class so as call 3. Okay, and here I will keep the heading same, so register, so heading, and let's keep this as register and add the details. So same options we are configuring, whatever we have. So in the div, and we have added this now as a class form group, and the label, and so label, yeah. And here we are using some name, fine. Now here important is we are defining a text box. We are defining a text box. So that text box, so input type is equal to text. Earlier, so it is having class form. Previously, this text box will have a reference inside the controller, and that reference is attached to this text box. It gets the reference from that and it stores in controller. But in MVVM, everything is managed in the view only. If everything is managed in the view, that means now this text box is configured as model. That means we have to make it dynamic. We can make it dynamic by using ng model. Adding ng model will make this element dynamic. After making it dynamic, so you can define a reference name for this text box in the UI itself. That means whatever value is collected in the text box, it must be stored in some reference. That reference you have to define with hash. Hash is an ID. So why hash? Because it is an ID selector and it is to be unique actually. I will give name. Okay, name. That means, so this hash name is a reference given for text box to store its data in the model. So it should use hash name, it should use ng model. It should use ng model. So that means first ng model makes it dynamic. After that, in the model is a memory. In the memory, an ID is defined as name. So that means in the model, an ID is defined as name. So whatever value comes from the text box, it is stored inside this name. It is stored inside this name. And we can access and use that. We can access and use it. So every element requires three important options. One, first make it dynamic. Second, create a reference name for it in the model. And third, your elements are not accessed by model dynamically if they don't have a proper name. You know general HTML. As per HTML rules, you know that a form cannot submit its elements data if it is not having a name. I hope everyone knows that. In order to submit the form data, every element must have a name. So here, every element should have a name. And the name for this text box is name. That means without name attribute, so the form data is not submitted. So you cannot collect it. That means the model will be using this name. And it will be storing your value into that reference actually. So every element that you are defining in MVVM, so because earlier this name reference is present in controller and we are just bringing it and binding it. But now there is no logic in the controller. There is no logic in the controller. Everything is happening in the presentation only. Declaring the value, configuring the value, and accessing the value, using the value, everything is managed in the view level only. Everything is defined. So every element have these three things to manage. So let's copy this now. So form group, I will copy this form group and keep it. And this is for price. And price text box will have an ID price. And price text box will have the name price. And ng model is same. Everything is similar. No change. So now the reference is name and the reference is price. Similarly, I am adding another here. So this is shipped to. Here shipped to is a drop down. That means select. So select also same. Select also same. That means select also should have ng model and it should have a reference name hash. So shipped to is equal to ng model, and it should have a name. So that is shipped to. So without the name, any element value cannot be submitted. Okay. And we need option. So we need option. So option. And this option says some daily. So another option. So Hyderabad. Okay. That's the options we configured. Now the same we need for another. So here we need for another. And that is the text box. They need to be same. That is what model reference is, right? Yeah. So here we are defining So in stock, and in stock is using, so this into a checkbox. Yeah, that means here we will define input type is equal to checkbox, and here same ng model and hash in stock is equal to ng model, and name is equal to in stock. Okay, that is the reference name, and I say yes. So this is the form we have designed. Same, but only one simple thing is here. Everything is configured. In the UI only. The declaration of the values, configuration of the values, everything in the UI. Now I will create another column here. So div. So I'm creating another column here, and call 9. Okay. In this, I want to just display the list. That means I keep a heading here, and say product details. We need to collect the details and display the details. Temporarily, I'm just using a data list. In the data list, we have a data term, so name, and the data definition. Here we want to display the name. Another data term, price, and data definition, we want the price. Data term is some shipper to, and I want to display the price. Data definition here. Another data term is in stock, and data term and data definition. I just kept empty initially. Okay. Now we need to collect the data from these elements and access the data and use that here. So in that case, just here, what we have to do is we need a binding expression. And how you can access the name text box? Simple. It has a reference ID. So the reference ID is name, and we can access that here. So simply name dot value. It will get its value. Similarly, price is also a text box. So same. So price dot value. That means a model reference is created for them, and we can collect the value. So simply here we defined ship to dot value. We can access the value. In stock, it is also same. That means here I defined stock. In stock is equal to true. Then it should display available. Else it should say out of stock. This is managing everything in the UI. There is no single line or logic written for handling your data in the controller. That means data is configured in the view, and the data is collected in the view, and data is binded in the view. Everything is managed in the view level. We collect the data from the user, we process the data, we bind the data in the view itself. That means all the logic that is required for handling the data interactions, it is in the view only. So now let's make this in the startup. So that means I will go to app module, and I will make this MVVM demo component in the startup. It is in the startup. Okay. And in the index page, I will keep this. So MVVM demo. Okay. That is in the startup. MVVM demo is in the startup. For this text box also, I will give this drop down. For the drop down also, I will use the class as form control. Okay. Then it keeps fine. So that means you can see that is fine. Now, whatever the details I am entering here, so those details are updated there. So Samsung TV, and those details are updated here. This time we don't have any controller. So we don't have any controller logic. So here some yes value is problem. That means here what is the model reference name? In stock. In stock. Okay. Here it is in stock. What it is referring. The text checkbox is not collected. Let's check any problem. Other details are working fine, right? This value is not collected. I will just put some what it is collecting. Sorry, in stock dot value, right? You have to collect its value, right? This is in stock dot value. It will return whether it is true or false. Huh? So in stock value will return true or false. Here that value is not returning. I will just refer that first. In stock dot value. Yeah, it is working fine. And right. Yeah. The value we are collecting, actually we have to collect the value. I just referred in stock because in stock is just accessing the checkbox checked or not, we have to get it from the value. We have to define it from the value. That's fine. So here we are collecting the details and displaying the details here. So we are entering the details, we are accessing the details, and we are displaying the details and using that and binding it. This is using an MVVM framework. MVVM architecture means, so everything is managed in the view level. So that means there are no references created in the controller. So that means technically what is happening here. So you have the model. So we have the model. Usually model contains your data. And we have a view model. This comprises of the UI and logic bound to the UI logic. It contains UI logic. And we have view. So view contains the UI. So that means whatever the UI logic is present, the UI logic, that means whatever data is present, it will come to the view. And view model. This view model will handle the data, and it will, that means remember why it is called view model, because it is handling the logic inside the view, handling logic inside the view. And it will bind that and render it in the same view itself. It binds and render in the same view. That means this entire part is managed in the view level only. This entire part is managed in the view level only. It is managed in the view level. View logic and view. So only the data comes and data is used. What is good? That means we are bypassing the controller. So we are bypassing the controller. Earlier, controller contains the logic. Controller contains the logic. So that means the model data has to go to controller, and from the controller, it should go to the view. And again, from view, it should come to controller, and from the controller, it should go here. But now what is advantage is now data comes from the model to view, and it will go back view to model. It will update directly. View to model, model to view. So this makes better. But this is not great every time. Why this is not great every time? Because it will be burden for the view. Because if this is a simple form, if there are complex interactions to handle in the view level, that is very difficult because it makes page more heavy. We don't expect a lot of interactions to happen on the page directly. So if there are simple interactions and we don't need regular extensions, suppose I want to extend some functionality, it is difficult to extend in the UI. If we have a controller can be easily extended because it is a class. In a controller class, you can inherit the classes, you can extend the classes, and you can extend its functionality. But view extensibility, testability issues will come. That is the reason. So an Angular application can contain components of both frameworks using MVC, using MVVM, depending on situation. When you are learning about a concept called forms, you will see this one more time with more features. Currently, just simple. How to declare a control. For that, 3 things you need. Every control needs a name, every control needs ng model, and every control needs ng model with an ID reference. So this is enough for every control. In order to collect its value, we have to just use the reference id.value. We can access the value and use the value directly here. There is no reference need to be maintained in your controller and managed in the controller. This is good at certain levels. So, but it has its own issues. That is the reason. So we have to manage these 2 things technically. So this is one simple point how to handle two-way binding by using MVC and by using MVVM like architectures in a single component. Right. Once you know this, now another important here is after understanding two-way binding, we have to know about more in data binding that you can manage by using Angular directives. You need to understand about what are directives, how to deal with these directives to make data binding more better. In data binding, we need to go and discuss about how to handle the directives. Right? So that we will see in our next session. Right? Tomorrow we will continue with this. Tomorrow we will see what are Angular directives and how to deal with these directives. Okay.